Alright, then this is my second time trying to record this. Let's hope that it works this time. Um, but yeah, so this is the workout review for today. Didn't really do it. I did warm up. I did the too lazy workout, but overall, what I did was I was like, I don't know, if I want to work out today because I want to make sure I get up on time tomorrow. And my friend, when we got a call, like, yeah, you should always take at least one day of rest. And so we decided to be today. I'm gonna try to work out tomorrow. It might not work because, in case you haven't tell, I mean, in case you don't know, it is 1:45, and I have not been able to fall asleep. Um, insomnia be amazing. Absolutely love it when I can't fall asleep. Um, but yeah, so what I wanted to do, right, was talk about exercise. So I want to break down the major type of exercise. Because during school tomorrow, what I'm gonna do a form of isometric training where I just like keep my muscles at full tension the entire time. Um, as a way of working out. I don't know what benefit, like I know it's gonna help at least when it comes to muscle endurance, but I don't really know like what other benefit that would take. So let me break down the major types. So beginning off with, let's look up. I we're gonna start off with the most common one or the most easy one to explain. Being weight training. This is really obvious and easy, kind of. It's essentially you picking up weight, like let's go with in pounds, right? You use a certain amount of weight to lift up in different positions, whether this be dumbbell curls, squat, weighted squats, or anything like that. It is what you use. Also, typically speaking, when you're doing this, depending on what type of build you're going for, you might be going until you like can't do anymore with proper form, or you might go for a certain amount of time. Oftentimes people use sets because it's easier to keep track of versus, you just going at it until you can't no more. It also works better for if you're trying to keep up continuous training. So I'll say instead of hitting like specific points of your body one day, you do kind of like what I do when you hit all points of your body. Doing that like until exhaustion every day can lead to major body fatigue and whatnot. So sometimes it doesn't, but do that. Um, Oftentimes when you use weights, you're gonna get more a defined build and more like obvious build. Like let me see. I'm gonna try to find for example of it. I honestly don't know what the point of this exercise is. Uh, but it's gonna be you're gonna have like a more defined build most of the time when it comes to it. It does help when it comes to like muscle strength and output strength, and when it comes to lifting materials. Does not 100% correlate to like punching and striking strength unless you're specifically training with it, which a method that is sometimes used is by boxers is to have weights and like practice the motion and essentially increasing your explosive capabilities while also keeping it light. Uh, Keep in mind that it depends on what you're training for while you use these. Oftentimes, you see people use weight training just for either one, bodybuilding, two, building up general strength, or three, just because they feel like they're gonna need it to like get the results they want when it comes to their physique. Bodybuilding is used for when you're trying to make like a fit. It's like pretty much physique mainly, or oh deadlifters. I forgot to mention them. Um, like physique is bodybuilding more specific for physique. This is kind of what you will imagine when you look at The Rock. Like you would think that he's pretty much bodybuilder, right? But there's like two divisions where they're like for show bodybuilders, and then there's also like they'll use muscle, like they're mainly like using powerlifters where like a lot of weight. Um, so, but then you also have stuff too where you use it for just general strength because it like helps round about where like calisthenics kind of lack, where like you do improve lifting strength, but it's not as much as if you were to like, you know, lift up 300 pounds curling. You know what I mean? Like you can do that with doing pull-ups and whatnot, but it's like easier for you to get those results when it comes to using weighted training. I don't include any in mine, but if I was, I'd probably use it for I forgot what he called it, like arm curls. I'll probably use it mainly for like curling and whatnot and keep it light. Kind of like the Bruce Lee method where you keep it light, you keep a bunch of it, very light. Let me go check why my YouTube thing is doing that. I don't know. But you keep it very light, but you still work at it very hard and intense. But yeah. Some advantages for it is it's more easier to increase the amount of strain you're putting, like the amount of work you have to do with it. You just add more weight. Um, you can also more easily decrease it because you can't really decrease, like you can, but it's like easier for you to decrease the amount of effort it takes for weight training than it is for like other types. Now, calisthenic, I mean, there is some downsides. This is probably the easiest one to get injured with, from lifting it wrong, lifting too much, um, overworking yourself. Like this is generally the one that most people get hurt on, especially doing your back, because there are a lot of things that you don't work on your back. So it's important to keep in mind to have proper form and everything like that. Now to move on to the next one. Um, let's go with isometric training. Isometric training. All right, isometric training is very interesting. This is essentially where you will push against something without changing. You like pretty much holding something, right? Um, you can see some here where I mean, but this is like where you get your planks, your squats. But there are other things too. So isometric training also revolves around pushing against something without any movement. So take for instance, a really good exercise that I include sometimes, haven't done it recently, but I do like to include is sumo. That's spelled wrong. Sumo. Uh, would push. Mm, training. Now, of course, I don't have the same thing as this. Also, I love how you can see how inadequate I can spell. Um, but you can see it here, right? Where this is a form of asymmetric training where you're pushing against something that doesn't move. And what they would do is they would use it to I didn't want to click on that video, but essentially they would like right here. This is a image somewhat not perfect, but they will run into a little thing and push against it. I use this to help improve my like pushing strength while also building up to like helping improve your leg strength if you're pushing against something and trying to get it move. It also helps build up like grip strength on your foot, as you can imagine, because you're especially in their case, you using sand and pushing against something. So it's a form of isometric training too. Um, Other form of isometric training is like once again squats, but this also can include stuff just like holding onto something heavy. Like there's this one tool, I don't know where it is. I really would like it, but like it's essentially you pass it something and you just like hold it against it. Resistance is also a great showcase of this. While yes, you can do that explosive movement, you can also hold it. Isometric training can typically be intertwined with other forms like calisthenics and weight training. Like I just mentioned, you can hold weights, like you hold it at a certain position and then make your way down. Same thing with doing that with push-ups. Um, Now isometric training doesn't really have that much of a downside. Um, I guess the biggest downside is it can be very strenuous on your body, not as much as as doing something like the weight, but it can still be very strenuous, and it also is like in particular really help when it comes to building up muscles. Another form of isometric training that I'm going to be using is keeping tension. So take for instance, a form of it is, let me just tell you what I'm going to be doing. Um, X training. Essentially, what you do is you just hold contrast in your muscles. And my goal is to essentially, at any point in time, to constantly be holding at different precision uh, points of muscles until I can't no more. This helps when it comes to building up, once again, endurance and how long you can keep the muscle active. I think it can also help with like your physique. Yeah, like it can help with physique, but primarily it can help when it comes to like keeping your muscle fiber contracted and building up stuff. Um, Honestly, doesn't seem to be much beneficial for me, but I would just like to do that because I think it'd be cool. To do it. So that's training. Calisthenics. This is pretty much like what I do. Um, you have your MMA guy, make sure I'm stealing that from Jack's Blaze, being push-ups. You have your psych. I'm gonna include all of them. You see push-ups, steps, and squats, but he typically called push-up anime god maker is pretty much exercise that uses your own body weight to your advantage. Um, so this is really simple. I don't know how far this includes, but this stuff like sit-ups, squats, push-ups, pull-ups. Oh, your own body weight and gravity, of course. Um, what else is there? I'm pretty sure like most things count as it, like jumping jacks. Um, Pretty much like when you think of exercises, pretty much you think about whenever you're not thinking about what's it called? Weight training. But typically it's like specifically defined as like using your own body weight along with gravity, but you can also add things to help with it. Like, let's say you're like can't think of like every time you work out, you're doing push-ups, you're doing too much. One of the best things about calisthenics is the fact that you can change your format, and it does help. So, take for instance, let's say you've been doing the regular format of push-ups for so long that they become easy. Well, you can switch it to be more advanced, whether it be doing burpees or just doing fist push-ups, and they all have different benefits to them. The same thing goes for squats. You can change how far your legs are apart. I don't really know what benefit they have sometimes, but you can like there's things you could change too. You could change how long you hold the positions. Um, so many things I would say, and this is probably gonna be the easiest one for most people to fit inside their workout routine. The other day, um, and also some like can lead to more like actually the most beneficial for it. Outside literally what I'm saying, like constantly tensing up your muscles throughout the day as you walk and whatnot. And try and keep them as tense as possible. Outside of that, calisthenics is like the most basic and most of our like easiest one to revolve around. Whether it be doing like every 30 minutes or so, drop down, get a push up, but you can or like whatever. Like there's so many forms of calisthenics that's just really good. Um, Now there's one specific training method that I forgot, so I'm gonna look it up. But while I look it up, um, this training method is also what I use a lot. Um, if I can spell train, uh, and it's essentially using unorthodox weights and stuff like that to okay, well, I should specify to do it like work out. So like I have some really good examples. But let me try to get the actual name of it. For circuit training, flexibility training. There was not this complexity training, freestyle training, what? There's this training one, I forgot what it is. It's a training method. Um, Not exactly what I'm talking about. Right, training method. Types of workouts. Let's look that up. Uh, Workout, maybe categories. Yeah, okay, let me. I'm gonna try to find it first beforehand. Also, by the way, a lot of these you can use to workout, right? People underestimate just how much things classify as workout. Like, I'm we're talking one time I was talking to my brother about this, and I was like, yeah, singing counts as working out because first of all, you're working your vocal cords, but more importantly, no functional training. This is gonna be interesting to talk about, but that's the one I'm looking for. Um, but more importantly, it's dang. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Oh, but it's like working your lung capacity and whatnot. So like, it's not just like oh, talking. Like you have to be working out, like doing these things. Like pretty much a lot of things that people do classify as a form of exercise. If you actually break it down from singing, dancing, it's like pretty a good amount. Okay, count where you are moving things like uh I'm gonna bring a box. I forgot what exactly this is called. No, it's not what it's called. I will talk about it. I'm gonna finish talking about it. I forgot what it's called, but it's a really good workout routine, workout method where she is probably the most common use. Actually, I would say the most used one, where essentially you are lifting things on pretty much an unorthodox manner that you wouldn't really do normally. For now, I'm just gonna call it unorthodox training. Um, so this could be to bring a real world example that most people probably can understand, and then to bring in some anime stuff. Um, a really good real world example is like most people in construction and whatnot. Like you know how they're typically like more build and whatnot, despite maybe never hitting the gym. Well, that's because they're still working out outside carrying heavy stuff. I know, but the way they're working out is this unorthodox method where they're holding things unorthodoxly or like things that like aren't like weight, but like our weight and having to hold them in so many different positions that it allows for you to like grow muscles in a lot of different formats and ways. To bring some anime example here, you can see this being messed up in Ippo. I haven't seen it. This is where I remember it made me from. In Jack's played video about will that work out, he mentioned it when we talk about either Ippo or another martial art anime. I forgot the name of it. It's really good from what I heard. Where we see him like already kind of working out in this specific ways when he's like carrying these boxes of fishes because his family run a fish business and he's running with them. That's not only help for calisthenics, but it's also I forgot the name of it. This unorthodox method of working out, right? So when you have that, and then another world example is Midoriya. The entire thing of Midoriya cleaning up beach is unorthodox. From him carrying a microwave while running to him like lifting up the refrigerators and moving them, like all that classified under that method. Now, most of the training method I don't really use. The three main ones that I will be using isometric because I'm playing to just hold positions and whatnot. Um, Calisthenic, that's the one. That's like the main one I'm using, and unorthodox. The way I'm doing unorthodox is like, say for instance, even though it's only 3 times a week now, when I carry that log and run slash walk slash speed walk with plus jog, it's really annoying with it. That is a example of the unorthodox method. Or take for example, um, or take for example, like when I'm swinging like the sticks and whatnot. I'm pretty sure that both classify calisthenics from the sense of like you're practicing using your body weight and whatnot, but also can be a form of isometric, orthodox manner, where it's because I'm using these heavy things in a manner that like you will see, or not necessarily see, but like in that manner it helps build a force. This would be like my sports swimming practice. But yeah, like overall, there are so many ways you can work out, and you could tell here. I'm sorry that a lot of this video is just y'all looking at a blank screen. Um, but I am a real fitness nerd, so a lot of these things I kind of know already. Like even looking at it here, I want to say I learned about that one recently. Yeah, you can see. Like I feel like most of these I know what it is. Like even this one, actually, this is a really interesting one. Yeah, this is a really interesting one. CrossFit is really interesting. I don't. It's like what most people would imagine, where like this would be a combination of weightlifting and calisthenics and whatnot. But yeah, like I know most of these. Um, I have done most of them. Like even when it comes to weightlifting, I've done it like it once or twice. Messed up my back once. I'm pretty sure I can feel like I still feel the effects of that today, but not as a or as big. It's just like my body, like sometimes like, hey. You remember that one time? When I'm like trying to lay down and whatnot. Or like when I have improper posture, it'd be like, hey, you can't sit like that. You have to sit up straight. Um, but yeah, like overall, these are like the four, I would say the major types outside of flexing when and I will go into more detail if y'all want at a later date. Just let me know. With that being said, that will be the end of today's video. Um, and today review. Hopefully, I will be able to do it tomorrow. I have a bunch of stuff this week, so I'm not 100 sure, but I would still like to at least keep up most of my routine. If I can't do the running, I will at least do the rest of it. But yeah, if I can't do the running, like actually timing it, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I know I did, what I put a 30-minute timer on and then ran that inside my house. But yeah, I will continue working out and I hope y'all are enjoying this journey with me. Um, if my friends are watching this, hey, why not join along? For the longest time, I have wanted someone to join this journey with me. Um, I have like one person who I think might be willing to. I might ask Spider if she will. Um, but yeah, like I would really want to do this, and I will enjoy. Like, if you have any videos that y'all see of y'all posting it, like let me know. Like, I want to have y'all join this journey too. And if you're my friend, let me know if you want to join too. Cause I'm perfectly ready. Like we can post like we can like have a group chat all together where we're like posting our before results, during, and afterwards, like making these short videos about how we feel and whatnot, getting to more in depth into it and whatnot, giving each other advice. Like just let me know. Cause we can really cook. We can really get this down to a science. Because when you think about it, everything is a science. Now, before I leave, for real, I like to end this off with words of positivity or a quote of the day. The quote of today being, life is full of suffering. Let's go with life is full of suffering. So why not enjoy it? Let me know y'all think I made that quote or not. And I'll let you know if I did or did, or if I did make it, if I didn't make it, and you think I did. As a matter of fact, just before when I end this video, I'm gonna look it up just to make sure that I didn't just pick it up out somewhere and completely forgot. Because you'd be surprised how many times I do that. I will legitimately be talking to my friend and have like this giant like scientific innovation, and then I'm like, this is literally what's on Star Trek. Like that happened multiple times. I would like theorizing like how teleportation would work. Completely forgot. Like I had my own version of it, but like I somehow completely forgot Star Trek was the thing. So I was breaking it down like, well, no, that, and third problem come up. And then he was sitting there looking at me. And then I was like, dang, the first time, I'm like, dang, that's Star Trek. And then the second time, I'm like, dang, that's Star Trek again. And then third time, he didn't say anything. He just sit there. And then as it clicked me, I'm like, That's Star Trek, isn't it? And he was like, yes, it is. And like, of course it is. And he's like, you literally doing this to yourself. Like, you keep reminding yourself that it's Star Trek. And like, yeah, I know it's my own fault, but like, I thought I was original. I thought I was. But yeah, let's one of these days, if I ever get an editor, I'm gonna have him edit every like just a compilation of every time I like let's end today's video and then proceed to go on forever. Like the first time I said let's end today's video and then like just a bunch of that all together. But yeah. Ashley, goodbye. I made a preview. I gotta stop. I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna end it. I really should put an outro. I'm never going to though. Most likely. Maybe. I don't